Well, nobody has done a video like this, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. It's going to show you how the flopping started, how the flopping evolved in different years and different eras, but who created it, who manifested it, and who embraced it. But let's go. Flopping in the NBA has evolved from a rare, this reputable tactic used by a few defensive specialists in the 1980s to a mainstream offensive and defensive skill that is, by 2026, a major point of contention and regulation. The change is categorized by the evolution of holding ground 80s and 90s to initiating contact in the 2000s to setting contact and foul baiting in 2020s. 1980 and 1990, the physical era. Prevalence, low to moderate. It was considered dishonorable to flop as the game was highly physical. Usage, mostly used by defensive players trying to sell offensive fouls. Changes against bigger opponents. Let's continue. Key names. Bill Laimbeer from the Pistons, from the Bad Boy Pistons, was a notable pioneer, sometimes called OG Flopper. Dennis Rodman and Reggie Miller were also known for using theatrics to get calls, such as Miller's famous leg kick to draw fouls, which Jordan reportedly disliked. It is what it is. That's why I bring the history, because I do not like to be biased. It is what it is, and this is the history of it. Let's continue. The shift. In 1997, the NBA introduced the 4-foot restricted area around the basket to reduce charges and discourage flopping on dunks, focusing it more on perimeter play. Early 2000s, the transition era. Prevalence, moderate to high. Following the relaxation of physical hand checking rules, defenders began using flopping as a way to maintain an edge. Usage became more of a strategic weapon to combat high-scoring guards. Key names: Vlad Divas and Manu Ginobili. Let's continue. Were famously associated with bringing European acting styles in the league, which many called a flopping fiesta during the 2002 playoffs. Modern era, 2010 to the 2026, the foul baiting era. Prevalence, extremely high / epidemic. Social media highlights, high definition replays, and the rise of superstar calls have made it a common, often necessary tactic. Usage, it is now primarily offensive foul baiting. Players create irrational contact to force referees into calling fouls. How many players don't do that today in the NBA? That's why it's always good to find out information and do your own research. Techniques: jerking heads back, throwing shoulders into defenders, jump starting into defenders, and flailing limbs, especially on three-point attempts. Who do we know that does that? I'm not going to say no name, but he plays for a Laker and he's injured right now. Yeah, that one. But let's continue. The LeBron rule. The NBA has had to. Let's continue. Repeatedly create or tighten anti-flopping rules, such as the 2012 and 13 fines, and by 2023 implementing in-game technical fouls for flopping. But LeBron doesn't flop, right? Okay, let's continue. Key factors in the change. Referee scrutiny post 2007. After the Tim Donaghy scandal, the league focused on removing subjectively from refs, leading to strict rule-based officiating that rewarded any initiated contact. Rule changes. Defenses can no longer use their hands to hold up offensive players, forcing defenders to rely on setting perfect, often exaggerated charges. Evolving of strategy. Players and coaches have embraced three-point fouls, drifting as a high-value basketball play. I'm just going to keep my mouth shut and keep reading. Compare specific player matchups, how the 90 players will be called today. Details the 2026 rule changes regarding in-game penalties, and also the list for the most notorious floppers of the decade. This is what, I don't know his name, Bill Simmons says. My bad, Bill Simmons, who started the flopping era. Old head alert. It didn't happen when I was a kid. It just didn't. The 80s and 90s hoops, nobody flopped. Even in the 2000s, the first guy I can even remember being called out for it was Manu Ginobili, who started the epidemic of superstars flopping. Everyone calls out SGA, which is bullshit because everyone does it. Even 300-pounders like Jokic and Embiid constantly embellish contact. Wow, who do you blame for this? Because it's really annoying to watch and makes refs make even more mistakes than they used to. And this is Bill Simmons telling us this about flopping, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all take real close of what this man say, and y'all marinate and think about this for a second. I had to do this video. It was already in me to do this video, but it took me a minute. And I'm glad that I did it, because everybody needs to understand, bruh, the flopping of today is getting out of hand. And it's just making the game just look so soft and just so pathetic and ridiculous to what it was and excuse me, and how physical it was. Now it's just easy, soft, and just in a manipulative way. And if you look at this, I know you can't really see it too right, but this is the percentages and how much change through the years of the NBA. I believe it started in 1989. All the way down to 2026. How much flopping and the percentage of it has changed with a little bit of extra numbers attached to it. And you will be impressed, but also you will be disgusted, and you will be annoying, and you will feel sick to your stomach and how much it has changed and how much it has developed into being a tradition to flopping, and how people today foul bait and sell their fouls to get away with them so they can go to the free throw line and be able to score more, which they are more free and they have more space to do so because of no hand checking, and you can't play physical defense, but they still use flopping to be able to create and score more points. Disgusting. But I just want you to look at this. I know y'all can't really see it too good, but this is from 1989 all the way down to the 2020s and 2026. It is disgusting. So that's why I'm saying, why do you think people don't watch games no more? We rather just watch highlights. Sometimes we might watch a game, or we might watch a quarter or two, or maybe we might catch the second half, or maybe we just catch one quarter and wait for the highlights so we can go ahead and do our video and give our content of how we feel about the game. But ladies and gentlemen, this is what flopping, just like Adam Silver with all the changes that he has done, has destroyed the real meaning and what it meant to watch competition and watch what real basketball it was all about. So I'm just gonna make sure that I just leave this here so y'all can have, you see the yellow line right there? Significantly, it will tell you how bad flopping has gotten. That's sickening. Wow. But let's continue. Historical content of flopping by era. 1960s, 1970. Flopping was often called gamesmanship. Frank Ramsey of the Celtic famously detained his floppy techniques in a 1963 Sports Illustrated article titled "Smart Move by a Master of Deception." While there were no official stats, personal fouls were actually higher than average, 27 to 30 per game compared to today's level. 1980, the bad boy Detroit Pistons, particularly Bill Laimbeer, popularized the defense flop as a weapon against elite scorers. Critics at the time dubbed Laimbeer the flopper, but the league still lacked a formal penalty system. 1990 to 2000s, international players like Vlad Divac and Manu Ginobili were often credited or blamed for bringing soccer-style embellishment to the NBA. In response, the NBA introduced a restricted arc rule in 1997 to prevent players from simply falling down under the basket to draw charges. 2010, the NBA officially implemented an anti-flopping policy in the 2012-2013 season, using post-game video reviews to issue warnings and fines. From 2012 to 2026, only about 100 to 120 total violations were publicly documented, averaging just 7 to 8 per season league-wide. The 2025 and 2026 modern era of today. In the current 25 and 26 season, the league uses a live game flopping technical foul rule introduced as a trial in 2023 and made permanent in July 2024. Metrics. 2025-26 modern NBA data. Let's continue. In the current 25 and 26 season, the league uses a live game flopping technical foul rule. I already read y'all that. Then it goes matrix. 25-26. In game flopping text, approximately 26 were called in the first full year of the rule 23-24, with frequency dropping as players adjusted. Post-game fines. Very rare. Tracking shows fewer than 5 major fines issued by mid-2026. Free throws content. Despite the perception of more flopping, the 2020 and 26 period actually has the lowest personal foul and free throw attempt rates in NBA history. Current worst floppers list frequently cite stars like Luka Doncic, James Harden, and Joel Embiid. While fans argue flopping is out of control, statistical evidence from Sportrack's database suggests that the official enforcement is actually at an all-time low, because the threat of a technical foul has reduced the most egregious acting. There's something wrong with this picture here. I've never seen flopping like the 25 and 26 season. So I don't know if they just doing this to fool the people or, trap people into the okie doke. But this is the statistics. This is what the data system is saying. So they're saying that this is the lowest average of flopping in NBA history. I can't buy that. But yeah, as y'all can see, I gave y'all what everybody's been asking for. How has flopping changed from the 60s till today? And I'm going to tell you something. It has changed dramatically. It is a traditional way of now stars of the NBA, behaving in this conduction. It is disgusting. It has no respect and no moral in it. It has no type of morality or even any type of, narrative to go ahead and make an excuse and allowing how this era is behaving and using this as a narrative and to be able to score more, to be able to get to the foul line more, to be able to, sell it as they foul baby. And they need to stop that shit. Kobe, I already know what you're thinking. God bless your soul. This is pathetic. It is ridiculous. It is disgusting. But you know what? I had to do a video to show everybody this is where flopping is going.